All right. First of all, I want to congratulate Andy, his staff, the players, Patrick, Travis, Chris. What an amazing game tonight. Also want to congratulate Mark Donovan and Brett Veach. So much work goes into an evening like this. You know, with Brett, it starts early in the offseason, and what an amazing job he did of putting this team together and helping us find players to replace some of the people that got injured during the course of the year. It's an amazing achievement. We talked a lot about this early in the year, about the opportunity to be the first team to go back to the Super Bowl after back-to-back wins. And it's hard to even put into words what it means to have the opportunity that we will here in 2 weeks in New Orleans. So special. I want to give a shout out to our fans tonight. I thought our fans were incredible. GHA Field at Arrowhead is a very difficult place for opposing teams to play, and our fans made it so tonight. And then lastly, I want to congratulate the Bills on a tremendous season. What a great football team, fantastic organization that they have.
Clark, how do you think your dad would react to all this?
Well, as much as we as a family like having a bunch of trophies with his name on it, I think he would have been upset because he was so humble. I don't think any of us really could have dreamed about it being like this and having the success that we've had, winning 5 Lamar Hunt trophies in the last 7 years, and going back to the Super Bowl. I think he would love it because at his heart he was a fan. He and my mom, they were fans first and foremost, and so I know he would love that aspect of it, and he would also love it for our fans because that was always a focus of his.
You mentioned go ahead, Todd. When you think about Andy and Pat and bringing them here, as you think about it in the idea of what it meant for the city, just how do you reflect on their impact over these last years?
Yeah, well, obviously it's been transformational. You just think back to 2013 when Andy joined the organization, made us an immediate winner, really changed the culture here. And then a few years later, he got the quarterback that he'd been waiting his whole career for. I think there was a comment earlier about why it's so hard, why nobody's ever gone back to have a chance at a three-peat. I think it's because those teams didn't have the combination of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
We'll do 3 more guys. Cool. Sam, Vahe, and then Adam.
Can you put the impact Andy has had in perspective? You're a historian of the league. Are we looking at maybe the greatest coach in league history?
I think he certainly has to be in that conversation. Different time periods make it hard to compare coaches from different generations. Certainly having cleared 300 wins and with the Super Bowl wins that he already has and the AFC championships and NFC championship that he won, he's got to be right there at the top. I think the great news for Chiefs fans is he's not done. Right? We've got work to do here in 2 weeks, and then I know he's excited about the challenge of coming back next year.
Clark, Andy mentioned the gut-wrenching wins, and I wonder what that's been like for you all season. I mean, have you seen that as something building towards this, or at times worrisome? How did you process that? How do you think it impacted today?
Yeah, I think it was all of that. Certainly it was a roller coaster for everyone who's a Chiefs fan. All those close games, but at the same time, we were learning something valuable from it, and we've seen it in the past. And I think Patrick Mahomes is at his best when the games are on the line. And I said it outside the podium how he and his teammates almost always find a way to get it done. They did tonight. Tonight we were playing an incredible football team, the Buffalo Bills. You knew it was going to be close. We have the history of our playoff victories over them the last several years, so you knew it was going to be a close game because all those games were close. And I think the experience that the team gained during the season really helped them tonight.
Last 2, Adam, and then Nate. Go ahead, Adam.
Clark, congratulations, by the way. You said a minute ago you didn't dream of having success like this as an organization. What did you dream of? What did you think were realistic expectations here?
Yeah. Well, our goal has always been to build a consistent winner, but the dream was to win one Lamar Hunt trophy and win our second Lombardi trophy, which we achieved back in 2019. And the great news is none of us were satisfied with that. Nobody in the organization, Andy, Pat, Brett, Mark, myself, our entire family, we wanted to come back and have a shot for more. And credit really goes to Brett on helping us build that consistent winner. A lot of the players have changed over the last 6 years, but here we are back in the Super Bowl.
Last one, Nate.
Clark, when you're watching 4th and 5 in your midfield, just what goes through your mind when you see Spags blitz your best cornerback, knowing that either if it fails or succeeds, it kind of will tell the story of the game?
Yeah. Well, we've been blessed to have Spags here for a number of years, and we've seen him do that in the past. So, like our players, I trust in Spags.
Okay, thanks, Clark. All right, guys.
There's a ton of people to thank after a game like this, and so I'll try to make it quick. But first and foremost, thanks to Clark Hunt and the Hunt family. Just an amazing ownership group to work with, and Clark is the brains behind this outfit, and he's the smartest guy I know. So I'm very happy and very privileged to work with him and follow his lead on this whole operation. Obviously, Mark Donovan, Mark's not just a business colleague. He's one of my good friends, and I lean on him a lot off the field. And Mark and his staff are tremendous, and obviously our coaching staff. I mean, everyone talks about it, but it's truly deserved for how great they are. Coach Reed and his staff, and Coach Spags and his staff, and what a great job by Coach right off the bat there on that 4th down going for it. I mean, you knew this was a game that you're going to have to really score points to beat this team. I mean, this is a phenomenal football team. So, he knew the dynamics of the game, and that's why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. My personnel staff, can't thank them enough for all the hard work they do off the field, and most importantly, our tremendous fan base. I joke with my staff. I mean, this game, I know it was a tight game. I know it came right down to the end, but this game was won on Christmas Day when we beat Pittsburgh and we got home field advantage. Because I think when you have two teams like this playing against each other, it really just comes down to who has the home field advantage and who's going to get one pivotal stop. So very fortunate and thankful and blessed to have this game at home, and that was a difference. So certainly thank the Chiefs Kingdom for all their support, and had this game been played anywhere else, I don't know if the outcome would have been the same. So being at home and having that fan base was, I think, really the deciding factor. So with that, I'll take your questions.
You were very intentional in night one to go up, trade with the Bills, and get Xavier Worthy. You talked about that coming into the game. I guess as you reflect, what did that mean to what this year has been, and will build toward the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, and the Bills have a great staff. I mean, that's one of the best football teams in the NFL, and a lot of people make it out like, well, the Bills didn't want them, and I mean, listen, they know what they're doing. They're a really good football team, and they beat us early in the season, and that was one of the best football teams out there. So, but look, we stick to our board, and we have a plan, and we believe in it, and we don't really second guess ourselves. And Xavier was a guy that we really loved and we were passionate about, and we were fortunate to go up there and get him. And like I said, the Bills they were on their own agenda, and they've done a great job of putting together a really good team. And so happy for Xavier. I know personally those guys, they know where they could have went, and I know he's happy to be here and excited to be here. But he's a great player. He's only going to get better. Coach talked about it just like Rasheed last year. After that week 10, 11, 12, I mean, he just took off, and he's really good, and the sky's the limit for him.
Right, when you've seen Patrick play so many times, what is it about these moments? Like, can you put it in perspective, just what you see out of him in these types of games, especially in third down moments, the biggest plays of the game?
Yeah, I mean, he's it goes back to just his awareness as a player, and he knows the situations, and he knows games where our defense is going to thrive, and a certain amount of points will be enough. But I mean, listen, we all knew that. I joked with my family before the game. I said the first one of 35 wins this game, and God, when it was 29-32, I was so nervous because I was like, God, I hope I'm not right, because they had the ball there at the end. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to score 35 points there. But Pat knew the situation, our coaching staff knew the situation. Like I said, I go back to that 4th down and 1. Like, you had to steal possessions and you had to score points against these guys because, you're not going to punt the ball and, they're not going to go 3 and out a lot. We got the stops when we need it, and that's why Spags is great, and that's why he's the best at what he does. But, timely stops in situational football, that's why this team is so successful, because we really thrive in those situations.
With all the injuries earlier in the year, you could have pushed your chips all in on this year at the expense of future years. Do you sort of feel vindicated with the moves you did make and the moves you didn't make by getting to another Super Bowl here?
Well, I don't necessarily know if we feel vindicated. I think we're always aggressive, and it goes back to the leadership of Clark. I mean, Clark does a great job of keeping. I'm super aggressive, and that could be dangerous. And so having Clark's leadership and guidance is a blessing, and it's that kind of great balance where he gives me the green light when he feels like it's appropriate, but at the same time, I mean, we try to be smart and very decisive in what we do. But at the same time, I mean, we have a good group here, and we plan to be successful for a long time. And we just have to be smart, and it's that delicate balance of being disciplined and aggressive. There is a fine balance, and that's why it's a complete group effort between my staff and Clark and the coaching staff.
Last 2 will go by, and then Todd, go by.
Brad, as you went through the season, long period of winning sort of crazy and close games at times, what gave you faith that was building something instead of maybe something worrisome?
Well, I think that's kind of been the blueprint over the last few years. I think when you win so much in this league, you line up every week and you're getting teams' best shot week after week. And, we're not. I think everybody, when they play us and they come to Arrowhead or we go to their stadium, it's kind of like a litmus test for where their organization is. Okay, we're playing the Chiefs. How good are we? Well, now we'll see. And, so we're getting their best every week, even when we're not at our best. And I think that kind of builds character and it builds, toughness. And, we're going to see, the best that teams have to offer week in and week out. And so when we do get to the playoffs, I mean, we're going to be mentally challenged and mentally hardened to a degree that when we get into these situations, I mean, our guys aren't going to flinch, and I think you see that time after time.
Brett, you guys had to cut ties with Kareem back in 18. Came full circle. He's been such a big part of what you've done. What your feelings are for him and how happy you are for him to get.
Yeah, I mean, so excited. I mean, there's a kid that obviously it was a tough situation years ago, but I mean, the kid has grown and learned, and he's so grateful to be here, and we're so grateful to have him. I mean, it's really a blessing for this to come full circle, and for him to be out of this organization, and he did some great things with Cleveland, but it's always special to come full circle and to see him. And the way he has grown and developed as a person, both on and off the field, is great. And I'm so happy for him. And he's been so critical to our success. And he's a phenomenal football player. And like I said, I'm just blessed that it worked out and that he's back here. And hopefully we'll have continued success with him.
Thanks, Brett.
Yep. Thank you, guys.